Hi, sir. Where will I be taking you this evening? Business District, 3rd Street, says the customer. Like any other cab ride, Jerome starts off by asking, Where'd you come from? Where's home for you? The customer then replies groggily, Eugene, Oregon. Looking back in the rearview mirror, Jerome notices that the customer, like most of his customers, if not on the phone, tend to fall asleep on these cab rides. This cab ride was going to take about an hour and a half round trip. This gave Jerome downtime to ponder. During these times, he contemplates about his life as a cab driver and the many people he has met. Once in a while, he gets the interesting customer that can't stop talking, and he loves those type of customers because they only make the trip go by just a little quicker. His most interesting customer was an elderly lady who was a regular but moved from one side of the city to the other. She didn't own much, but what she did own was a Noah's Ark collection of animals. She had 3 dogs, 2 cats, 4 fish, and a parrot, and they all came on the move across the city with her. Her name is Elaine. Jerome started to think about the last cab ride she gave Elaine.
Hello, Jerome. Today will be my last day with you. I will be moving to the other side of town.
Oh, why is that, Mrs. Johnson? Asked Jerome.
These people, they don't like my animals.
As she tries to raise her voice to tell the story of why she had to move out. Elaine was Jerome's favorite customer. Like Elaine, Jerome did not have any family living near him. They were just 2 lonely people who enjoyed each other's company. Whenever Elaine would call Jerome for a ride to the pharmacy, he would do it with no charge. Jerome saw her as his aunt. As we pulled up to the new studio apartment, she screeched,
We are right.
Here we are, sir, Jerome wakes the businessman. That'll be $86.50. The customer hands over $100. That nap was what I needed. Jerome hated this part of the cab rides, the lonely ride back to the airport. This time Jerome zoned off into the darkness of the night, and before he knew it, he was just under 5 minutes to the airport. He noticed he was the only cab there. It didn't take long until he got his next customer. The next few customers he would get would come one right after another, with no wait. All of them were businessmen, none of them interested in talking. The sky began to lighten up as he takes his last trip to the airport. Jerome takes a look at his watch. 4:20. Almost time for a sausage McMuffin, then some shut-eye. After every shift, Jerome has his daily egg McMuffin or 2. Jerome is a creature of habit. As he pulled up to the curb, he saw that he was 3 cars behind in the cab line. He stayed knowing there was usually a plane that arrived right before his shift ended. Slowly the 2 cars in front of him picks up customers and Jerome becomes the next cab up, the only cab there. 25 minutes until the end of his shift, he patiently waits thinking he probably won't get a customer. Looking around, he sees no one but a janitor about 100 yards down the arrival curb. He tells himself, I'll give it about another 5 minutes, then that McMuffin's calling my name. He sat on the hood of his car, eyeing out for anyone coming out of the gates. No one. All of a sudden, the voice of a soft-spoken woman whispers over the right shoulder of Jerome.
Excuse me, sir. Can I get a ride?
Jerome shook and turned back hastily, almost falling off his car. Jerome could only see the figure of an old woman walking towards the car.
Can I please get a ride to the Redwood Complex?
Of course, says Jerome as he quickly gets in his cab. Do you have any luggages?
No, just this bag and my purse.
The trip was going to take just under half an hour, being that he lived just 10 minutes from the destination. Here we go, ma'am. You're home, says Jerome. As he looks back into the rearview mirror, he sees the woman hand him an envelope with $15, which would cover the cost of the trip exact.
Thank you. Goodbye, Jerome,
says the woman softly. She steps out and shuts the door behind her. Jerome decides to skip breakfast and heads home for bed. As he walks out of the car, he notices that there's a purse in the back seat. He opens the door and examines the items in the bag. First thing he picks up is a small wallet holding many cards, one of them being an insurance card. The card read, Elaine Johnson. Behind that, her state ID. As he looked at the picture closely, he noticed that the lady pictured here was Elaine. He takes the bag into his apartment and decides to drop off the bag after he gets some sleep and before his next shift, which would start at 9. Jerome heads to Elaine's apartment to return her purse. When he arrives to the complex, Jerome walks to the front door of her apartment and knocks. No one answers. He knocks again and still no one. As he walks down the hallway, one of the other tenants asks, Hey, who are you looking for? Mrs. Johnson. When did she move back? Answers Jerome. The tenant looks confused and says, But she died about 4 years ago.